What is up, everyone? How's it going? Happy Saturday afternoon. What is going on, people?
Or evening.
What is up, Retro Cheeser? And good evening to those who are watching overseas. Salute to y'all. And
What's
yeah,
up, chat?
a lot of things have been going on in the world of wrestling.
Yep, we
a
saw
lot.
a huge return.
So there's a huge announcement last night on SmackDown from the final boss, The Rock, that WrestleMania next year is going to be back in New Orleans, Louisiana. So that is really awesome. I might have to save up to try to go to that, because New Orleans is not that far from here in Georgia. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I'm looking forward to that. And it was funny to see Solo and Jacob team up in the first time in many months.
I think it was supposed to be a 6-man.
Yep, it was originally supposed to be a 6-man tag, but The Rock, the final boss, I should say, had the final say-so of Cody. And just remember, hard times. I love you, but I hate your son.
Yeah.
And get this man some Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah. Oh, yes. American Dream. Hard times. One of the Rock's heroes.
Yes.
I love you, but I hate your son.
Exactly. He loves him, but really dislikes his son. But it happens though. But I'm definitely looking forward to WrestleMania, and it's just around the corner, everyone.
Hell yeah. A lot of amazing matches.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of amazing matches coming. And as those of you don't know,
he has returned.
He has returned, but he's going to be in TNA. Elijah.
Yes, Elijah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Who knows? He may even end up back on the WWE roster or NXT or something. We never know with the Drifter, Elias.
Yes, because in the next few days, I think the pay-per-view what TNA are going to do is actually called Sacrifice Week. It's going to be a promotional pay-per-view.
Yes.
We're going to see some NXT and TNA. So
Yep.
then a TNA pay-per-view.
Yep. So I don't know if you notice Jimmy's ring attire last night when he came back to
You're
wrestle.
talking about Big Jim?
Yes, Big Jim.
You're talking about Big Jim?
And it looked similar to when he was tagging with Main Event Jey Uso back when they were faces wearing the face paint. If you notice the similarities in that attire. Yeet. Hopefully we can see them win tag team gold again at one point in the future.
They might see another bloodline versus bloodline, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be nice to see the new bloodline versus the old bloodline feud. And it'd be funny to see The Rock, what he does in that. See which side he chooses.
Let's talk about the segment between Cody Rhodes and the final boss.
Yes, let's. That was really intense. I'd have to say that was a very intense moment.
That little part with the crowd.
Yep.
Um, and the interesting thing happened after when the Rock left.
Yep. Yes.
Cody thought that he wanted the title. Oh no! He wants more than that. He wants Cody Rhodes' soul.
Yep. And the final boss did say he would be back for him. He did say that. He may have gave him props and showed him some love, but he did whisper in his ear and told him, I will be back for you. And sure enough, there he is. The final boss. Giving him hard times.
Yes.
Giving him real hard times.
Yep. And we're gonna find the answer. What's gonna happen after the Elimination Chamber?
Yes, we are. I'm actually looking forward to the Elimination Chamber. A lot of good people are gonna be in that, so I'm looking forward to that. See who wins that.
I mean, yes, the men Elimination Chamber could shape up to be a good one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But man, the women's Elimination Chamber.
Oh, that's stacked too. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Like, that's really stacked itself too. The women's Elimination Chamber.
We got like who is who in the chamber? We got Naomi.
Yes, we do.
Bianca.
Yes, we do.
We got sorry, Liv, no Raquel.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That deserves a.
Yes. But hey, we got Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
Bro, Roman Reigns is gonna be the. Yeah, we're gonna acknowledge this.
Yes.
Is he gonna be in the chamber?
We don't know.
Some show. Because that's a few. I think there's more questions to be answered. So
yes. There's a lot of mysteries that could be going on backstage with the writing, with creative. We never know because they could be changing up something.
Now, all women in the Elimination Chamber have, one way or another, first time being in the chamber. I think Alexa, Liv, and Bailey have most time in the chamber. Yes, I didn't mention, because I mentioned Bailey's in there. Alexa's, and the upcoming Roxanne Perez. This is going to be her very first first Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ever WWE pay-per-view, so good for her.
Right.
She did pretty good in the Royal Rumble. Like a real record-setting until Charlotte Flair.
Yes, definitely.
And yes, speaking of Charlotte Flair, we're gonna see some TV Mania.
Yes,
and the
we
Queen.
are. Yes, we are. Hopefully soon we can see Asuka back.
Yes, speaking of that, her issues with X got resolved.
Nice.
For what she said.
That's good.
Video. She mentioned that everything is, the Atkins situation is already been taken care of.
Right.
I wanted to bring it up.
That's good. That's a positive reinsurance right there. Like, it's always nice to know when situations like that can be resolved. And a lot of people forget, like, some of these WWE superstars, they're human beings too, and like they have a right to privacy as well. They have a right to live their life like any normal human being, and it's hard for them to just even do that because so many fans or people recognize them, so they go and they bother them. Like it's one thing, like if it's a WWE event, it's a sign event, they're willing to do that. But like after being live and then they're traveling, give them space, everyone. Like let them have time to themselves, because sometimes they have to use up a lot of energy entertaining, and it's sometimes they don't have the energy to want to deal with the public either. So like be respectful, be mindful. Like if you really want to approach them and beat them, do it in a polite demeanor. Just be like, hey, I'm a fan and I know you're busy traveling. Could I maybe shake your hand, or do something like that, and then maybe they may say, would you like to take a picture? Let them ask you if you want to take a picture. Don't ask them and be like, hey, can I get a picture? Just treat them like a normal person and try to understand that they're human beings too. Sometimes they need some time to themselves to reflect on things, and it makes them a lot to be able to recover and feel better, because like a lot of times they're dead tired because they just spent a lot of time being in the ring. They used a lot of energy to entertain everyone, and they get very little sleep. Even once they get back to their hotel room after performing, they still don't get much sleep, because afterwards they're having something to eat. They're having like a late dinner or something, and then they go to sleep, and by the time sometimes they go to sleep, it's already like 2-3 o'clock in the morning for them, and they're already up going on very little hours of sleep. So just be mindful of those things, you guys. Like they have a very tight-knit schedule, these superstars. And it's not that they don't want to acknowledge their fans or communicate with their fans. It's just, it's kind of a respect thing. Like, if you want respect, you have to give them some kind of respect. Like, give them some space. Because in the end, they're human beings too, just like all of us. They need some space. And that's any celebrity. It's not just the WWE superstars, that's any celebrity. Like, they do, a lot of them do appreciate their fans, but there are some that don't appreciate their fans, but a lot of them do. And just be mindful of their hectic schedule. It's not that they don't want to acknowledge their fans or mingle with their fans. It's just sometimes they need to just move on, because they got to get to somewhere. They got to catch their flight, or otherwise they're going to miss it. So just be mindful of those things, you guys.
You don't want to
Yep.
make them,
Yeah, and then some of them have kids, so they're trying to get home to see their kids as well, because like they don't get to see their kids all the time because they're always on the road. So just be respectful of that and mindful, people.
Couldn't say it better myself. That's a good point.
But other than that, like, yeah, there's a lot of excitement that's going to be coming. So, and that was a nice little upset victory between Big Jim and Drew, where Jim picked up the win.
Oh yes.
that was nice to see that. Big Jim.
Yeah, Big Jim. Oh, Drew McIntyre was a little bit more cocky in the ring, so
Yep.
Jimmy took, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jimmy took the advantage of that, and this is why it's important not to be cocky, people. It's okay to have a little cockiness, but to be overly cocky, you're setting yourself up to get snatched, to pick up a L instead of a dub. So Just be mindful and don't let the size of the guy fool you, because Big Jim, he's quick, just like his brother. They're quick. Don't let their height fool you. Because look at Rey Mysterio. He's pulled a lot of upset victories on men twice his size, other wrestlers twice his size. Same with Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace.
Viva la raza.
Yep. Don't underestimate the little guys in the business. I've seen them pull up huge upset victories.
Luchadors are smart.
Yes, they are.
I could tell you that. They will always find a way to it doesn't matter how tall you.
Yeah.
They're one or two steps ahead of you.
Exactly.
So you know. Hey, you know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. I totally know. And yeah, like, it's fun watching some of the smaller guys because they put on a good show.
Yeah. I mean, sadly, a lot of people underestimate them. Man, give them a chance.
Yes.
Like, look what Rey Mysterio did.
Oh, him, Eddie Guerrero, a lot of those guys dealt with a lot of that their whole entire career. Like, even back in the WCW days, like the smaller guys that were the cruiserweight class, they just got looked over by the creative team and all that kind of stuff. So, like, that's the reason why, like, sometimes I enjoy watching the cruiserweights just a tad bit more than the heavyweights, just because some of the moves that they pull off are just, they're mind-blowing. They're amazing. Like, it's like, that's what I want to see. I want to see explosive, fast, but powerful at the same time. And that's the enjoyment of watching cruiserweights.
Fast-paced action. This is
yes.
amazing, because whenever back in 2016 on the Cruiserweight Live, 205 Live, sorry.
Yep.
There were good people in there.
Yeah.
Like, they put a lot of effort into shows.
They were like people like Enzo Amore. Like, if he would have did better behind the scenes in the locker room, getting along with everyone, I'm sure he probably would have been able to stay in WWE. But there's a lot of rumors that a lot of people did not like him.
And then we got like, hey, Kalisto was a good cruiserweight.
Yeah, he
Actually,
was.
I haven't seen wrestle Kalisto. I haven't seen wrestle in years now.
Because he's no longer with WWE, I don't think. I think he is in, I believe he's in ROH. Either that or he's in TNA. But yeah, his contract didn't get renewed from what I've heard. That's why you haven't seen him on WWE TV.
He was...
And he's not going by Kalisto anymore anyways. And I actually got to meet him at one of the WWE live events when he was the United States champion at one point. Yep. So it was cool. He's a very nice guy.
Yes. He's one of the, if he was actually, yes, he was a three-time United States champion.
Yes, he was. And I believe he won the tag team titles with Sin Cara.
Yes.
When they're the Lucha Dragons.
Now, let's not confuse the chat here, because you know and I know who was the Sin Cara back then.
Yeah, well, the Sin Cara that Kalisto was tag team partners with, that was not the original Sin Cara, everyone, so
yes.
there is another Sin Cara.
Yes, in 2009, I believe he signed. he had a feud with the person who actually took his name.
Yep.
So, yes, so he used to be tag team champion with Kalisto. I actually still remember this moment. Remember that Toledo del Sol
Yep.
with the letter that Kalisto did?
Yep.
It was a very great moment. Toledo del Sol using the letter. Now this was Kalisto's finisher. I don't know what it's called right now because different name.
Yeah, exactly. Because whenever they move to promotions, sometimes they'll change the name of their finisher, their signature moves.
Yes. Now,
unless it's Chris Jericho. He doesn't need to.
Yeah, he doesn't need to.
You stupid idiot.
He's a name in this wrestling game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you know what happens when you don't know who Chris Jericho is? Huh? You know what happens?
You know what happens? You just made the list.
You just made the list. Okay, Roman.
Yes. The tribal chief. I'd actually like to see him and The Rock go at it at WrestleMania.
Actually, this is what the crowd wants.
Yeah, I want to see The Rock, the final boss, versus the tribal chief.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd like to see interfere in that match and hit Roman or something like that.
You turn Rollins.
Yep.
And speaking of WrestleMania, Seth Rollins, the heist of the century.
Yep, Mr. WrestleMania himself.
Yes.
Still has the biggest moment where he cashed in Money in the Bank. Like,
made a triple threat and
cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, the first person to ever do it. And successfully do it.
we actually know another person who did it at WrestleMania.
That we do.
El Campeón.
Yes.
Signore, Money in the Bank.
Yep.
Damian Priest.
Yep, but still, Seth Rollins was still the best. Seth Rollins was still the best, though, because he did it at the exact perfect time and moment.
Yes. And no one can top that.
And that's hard to do, especially when it was Roman and Brock Lesnar going at it. Oh.
And you have Money in the Bank.
Yep.
How can I made so much history.
Yes.
I made even more history. Why I not interfere with my Money in the Bank and becoming the first ever person to cash in?
There's a reason why he's called the architect.
Yes.
There's a reason why he's called a visionary. Because.
And that's why he's a revolutionary.
Yep.
Because he is the freaking Rollins.
Yes. And he will burn it down to the ground.
Yeah. And he's just saw what happened in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
He's still angry.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and I see a heel turn coming with him, though, too. All the signs are right there that he's turning heel.
I can't wait. Oh, and speaking of Seth, he is the last man to qualify in the Elimination Chamber
Yes,
match.
he is.
So,
And he's in a take no prisoners kind of mood right now.
he has a lot. He's got Monk right there. He has a little issue with certain people in the chamber.
Yes, he does.
No, Logan Paul. I mean,
Yep.
he has some issue with him. CM Punk.
Yep, CM Punk, the cult of personality.
His story, I actually kind of know why.
Oh, everybody knows why Seth Rollins and CM Punk don't like each other. That's not new news. That's old news.
But I got a little story way back. CM Punk used to do a wrestling school. You know that?
Yep, he did. Most of those wrestlers back in the Attitude Era, believe it or not, quite a few of them had their own wrestling schools. Like, even before the Attitude Era, Mr. Hughes, he had his own wrestling school out here in Atlanta, Georgia. Ed Shark, who trained most of the people like X-Pac, the Legion of Doom, a lot of those guys, they trained with him in Minnesota. A lot of those guys do. Like, a lot of the people were trained at Ohio Valley, like Randy Orton and John Cena. They're both trained at Ohio Valley, which was also like an affiliation for WWE to get in their developmental.
Yeah, this is how and even Brock.
Yep, Brock even started in the Ohio Valley as well. And he also wrestled in Japan for a while.
So yeah, guys, they were in the mental. They didn't start big like.
Oh, a lot of them had to pay their dues. They had to break their back just to get their foot in the door of WWE. Back then, it was a lot more harder for them to get their foot in WWE. You had to really know somebody at the top to get in. And you gotta had a certain skill level. They weren't gonna just let you in that door. Those are tougher times back then. Like from the 80s through the 90s and the early 2000s, it was a lot more difficult time to get into WWE for some of those men because they had to really bust their back just to get in. You really had to be a phenomenal wrestler and in phenomenal shape just to get even an opportunity to get in their developmental program.
So it's kind of like a little bit more better right now.
It is definitely a lot better.
And now if you want to be a WWE superstar, you can always sign up for wrestling school. Now there are many.
Well, even if you sign up at a wrestling school, it doesn't mean guarantee you're gonna make WWE or make AEW or TNA. Like, you really, really have to be very, very good to even make that level.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of those men and women end up being stuck in the indies. They end up getting stuck being at the smaller shows. You won't see them like at ROH or New Pro Japan. You're not going to see them in AEW or WWE or TNA because their skill level sometimes is not good enough to be at that level. And it's nothing against those men and women who work very, very hard at their wrestling school. It's just sometimes the people who look at talent, they know what they're looking for. And if they don't see what they're looking for in you, they're just going to pass you. And don't take it to offense. Don't take it to heart. That's just how any industry is. Especially when it's in the world of professional sports in general. A lot of that happens in professional sports. It's not just professional wrestling. It's professional football, hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball. If you're not what they're looking for, don't take it to heart. And just remember, there's always a way to get in, especially in professional hockey. There's a lot more easier ways to get into the pros by playing in the minor league system. If you're really, really good enough, you could always try out for the minor league teams, for the minor league systems, because a lot of times, a lot of those teams hold open tryouts. So you got to look into some of those and try out. And the best people to try out for those are people who play college hockey or who played hockey most of all their life and they're just naturally gifted. Those are the people. Definitely go out and try to do it. But hockey's a tough sport to make the professional level, and same with football. Like, you really got to be what they're looking for at the time.
Too bad that the indies don't get televised.
Yeah, but the thing is, that also falls on how they're promoting it too, though. Promotion is everything in business, and indies is no different than a business. If you're not going to promote it properly, you're not going to promote it to a good professional standpoint level, you're always going to get looked over. That's just how it is. That's how business operates in anything that you do. So, like some of these small indie circuit promotions, as long as they can learn how to promote or hire someone that knows how to promote and understands business very well, those are the people you want on your team, because that actually helps get your promotion noticed and out there.
Thank goodness, like a little bit turns into the better, because remember the ID program, what WWE are doing right now?
Yeah.
That means there is a glimpse of hope, y'all.
Yep.
So there's hope. So hey, one of them who started to look, because, and remember this, there were trainers who scout talents. Remember that. There were, here's the thing, like Albert, who used to scout talent. I don't know if it's still done. Agent Albert. Matt Bloom, I think was his name.
Yeah.
AKA Albert. He used to do that. So, with this program right now, plus maybe someone like, hey, Triple H, like, oh, I'm gonna go see these people. Maybe someone will caught my eye.
Right.
Give them chance and see what we can discuss. Now, I think he said he's gonna work it on new titles. They call them indie titles. I think that's what they call them.
Yep.
Indie. They're gonna be singles code. It's gonna be one for the men and for the women. Now, I don't know any details about how they're gonna be. Is it gonna be like a tournament between those things?
Yeah.
It's just this is what I know so far with this news. But yes, Triple H announced this type of titles will be in the. Is it gonna be like happening? We'll see how it goes in.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's a good opportunity,
Yep.
If this is for these people getting those titles. Also, good to see some legends in a new reality show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We talking about legends like Mickey James,
Yep.
Ray Dudley, The Undertaker, and Booker T. They're going to be
Kane, Booker.
Oh hell, Kane, Booker. Yes.
Still the best moment of him and Stone Cold in the grocery market.
Oh man, whenever I get the chance, man, I always like to revisit that moment.
That is
just type in.
That is my favorite moment of all time.
It's on red. just type in the market with Stone Cold and Booker T, and you're gonna laugh your
Yeah.
trust.
Classic moments are if you can still watch some of those if you have Peacock or if you can watch those. You just gotta look it up back in like the old SmackDown matches back in like the Attitude Era. That's all you need to know.
Yes, we can. One of us can probably find it and post it in your Discord. If anyone is interested, they're more than welcome to join the servers. So we can post this moment so you can check it out yourself. Sometimes we post wrestling stuff in there. So if you wanna, join in the conversation right now,
definitely.
Chat
We'd love to have you.
and hang out with VC. Having some
Yep.
fun.
We can all chit chat, talk about wrestling, mixed martial arts, any kind of sports or games. We talk about everything. We even talk about life things, talk about relationship things. We talk about everything. There's no discrimination. Everyone can join. Men and women can join.
So, of course, everybody's more than welcome to.
Yep. Even if you're a Christian and you just want someone to talk to you about scripture, I'm also that person. So, like, you can join as well.
Hey, if you're interested in games, I can help out too.
Yes, definitely.
With that department.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, cool stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling.
Yes, indeed. A lot of good things happening.
Now, okay, the match between Rhea and Io is gonna be the Raw after Elimination Chamber.
Nice.
I wish that match could be in the Elimination Chamber. I understand.
Right.
Yeah, this time. I know that Paul is, aka Triple H, is more like limited to 5 to 6 matches. I was watching what he was doing in NXT, and like, it's maybe a little bit of expand, maybe that will help, because we got the women have the mid-card titles right now. Sorry, my voice is so we already have the mid-card titles for the women, so there should be already, like a match booked for them. I hope we can see them at WrestleMania. Like, so yeah. We're gonna see Dakota versus Valkyria Valkyria. She's a number 1 contender, by the way, speaking of the women or titles. And I can't wait to see them go at it. Yet again, they did a good match. And I can't wait to see them wrestle again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, man. I was hoping, I hope we can see some changes here and there.
Yeah, definitely.
Chelsea's killing it Chelsea's killing it with her U.S. title reign.
She is.
Yep, that gimmick really took off. That she did. And the fans love it.
Oh yeah, the fans are loving it.
Yep. So, yeah. I hope we can see some opponents for her as well, because we already know for Lyra. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot. Good thing that we're still on. It might happen. She might have an opponent. The SmackDown before Elimination Chamber, Chelsea will have an opponent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Before I forget, last week we forgot to give acknowledgement to Michelle McCool. Undertaker's wife is going to be part of the class of the Hall of Fame of this year. So, much props to Michelle McCool. So, like, I gotta give her a round of applause for that one. She deserves it. She's done a lot for the business. And, like, for some of you who aren't familiar with her, go check out the Attitude Era. She did a lot of phenomenal matches with Mickie James, Victoria, Tori Wilson, Lita, and all of them. She was during that time. So, like, definitely go check it out. Like, she had a lot of phenomenal matches. She's very gifted in the ring. She put on some great matches back in the Attitude Era. So definitely go check her out.
Yeah, it's so you can always go to the WWE channel and look it up.
Yep.
And so this is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention that last week. So, like, now I'm mentioning it.
I felt bad at the very last moment. Forgot to put it in. Like, oh, dude, we forgot to mention about that.
Yep.
This is a big one.
Yeah, because that's a big deal because that's the Undertaker's wife, so.
We don't want to get chokeslammed, if you know what I mean.
No, we don't want to get Tombstone pile drive.
Oh, you don't want to get your head crashed in the ground. Because many wrestlers felt that.
Yep.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
That's the Tombstone pile driver, the Undertaker. That was the other name for that finishing move. Yes, and you can see Undertaker as a coach in this new reality that WWE is doing right now, trying to recruit some new talents, and whoever wins,
Yep.
woman or the man who wins will become.
It's kind of a replacement to their old show, Tough Enough.
Yeah, it's a similar gimmick to that.
Yep. But I actually like this better than Tough Enough. Tough Enough, there's too many arrogant people that didn't belong there.
Some of the people in this show are knowable.
Yep.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's Tyra, who was the woman who was the Olympic medalist. Kylie Ray, I know her there because she was in the Level Up.
Right.
Level Up used to be a secondary show for NXT after SmackDown aired. They decided to drop it. They decided to use the wrestlers on this show, on Level Up, and use them for that specific reality. We got people like Shadow Hill, who's also coming a good wrestler. I see him wrestle. He's doing pretty good. And yeah, Eddie Bourne, I think, was in there. I'm not sure. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Good potentials. So a lot of good young this generation shaped up to be a good one.
Yes, definitely indeed.
So I still don't have my side who's gonna win, but I wanna to move on a little bit more because
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, be careful if Bubba Ray's your coach, because, yeah, he's very serious.
Yeah, you don't want to piss him off because he's old school. He is in your face kind of training, and if you can't handle that in your face kind of training, do not get on his bad side because you can learn a lot from him. He's very serious. So was Triple H. When Triple H showed up on that episode of Tough Enough one year and someone was being a smart ass on the thing, Triple H stepped right in his face with no hesitation.
Yep.
So, like, to them, this is not a hobby. It was a job for these guys. They took it very, very serious. They busted their ass off to get to where they were at. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for them to get to where they're at. So just listen to what they're teaching you. Be mindful of what you're learning from Bubba Ray and The Undertaker. They're a wealth of knowledge. Like, those are the people you should really be milking in what they're giving you, what they're telling you, what they're teaching you. So pay close attention to what they say and what they're teaching, because you're going to learn a lot. There's a reason why they're legends. There's a reason why they're signed on a Legends contract with WWE. They've done it all. That's the reason why the Hardy Boys now are on a Legends contract with WWE.
They're gonna be in the Hall of Fame, eh?
Yep, they're like, you can learn a lot from these guys. Like, listen, like, even back when Tough Enough was still going on, when Miss Jacqueline was one of the coaches, she was no nonsense too. She would get in the women's faces too. So did Victoria and some of those other women that were guests. They actually got in some of those women's face. They didn't play because they knew what it took to make it there. They knew how hard and intense it is.
They were in your place back then when they started. And
yep.
And why they make it? Because, you know, they listened to the legends. You know, they were serious about it.
They were, because they're passionate, but at the same time, it was a job to them. It was not a hobby. You can't treat anything that you're passionate about, you can't treat it as a hobby. It doesn't work, people. You gotta treat it as a job, just like anything else. Like, people who are professional fighters in general, doesn't matter if it's mixed martial arts, boxing, or kickboxing, or competition type style, to them, it is not a hobby. It's a job. They take it very, very serious. It's a passion of theirs, but it's a job. They don't take it lightly. So when they step in that ring or octagon across from someone who's treating it like it's a hobby and a quick payday, you are surely mistaken, and you're going to learn the meaning of real pain when they take your head off, literally. So don't go in there thinking, I want to be a professional fighter one day, because these men and women, if you knew the intense training they go through and what they put their bodies through every single day, I promise you, you will not like it. When they're cutting weight, it'll be the most miserable time of your life. Like, cutting weight for being a professional fighter is the hardest part of your fight camp. It's not just going into your gym training. It's also you're cutting weight. And when it gets close to that time for weigh-ins, you're still cutting weight. If you're not anywhere close to the weight when it's time for you to go weigh in, you could actually lose a certain percentage of your payday if you don't make weight. It happens all the time in the UFC. I'm not kidding. It happens. They take it very, very serious. And it's not easy to cut weight either. It's a lot of people are like, oh, I could do that. Yeah, you may think you can do that. Saying it and doing it are two different things. And I promise you, you will not be able to do it. If you think you can, I'd love to see you try to do it, because I promise you, cutting weight is not easy as you think it is. There's some days where they don't eat any solid foods. They're only drinking liquids. They're only doing shakes. They're only doing juices. They're not actually eating heavy, hearty meals when they're cutting weight, when they're getting ready for a fight. So, like, I promise you, it's not a cakewalk cutting weight, getting ready for a fight. Same thing with some of these professional wrestlers. There's days they stay on a strict diet when it's days that they're performing. They stay on a diet plan when they're performing. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by some of the things that you see some of these WWE superstars. They may eat at restaurants. That's because that's that one day they're having a cheat meal.
Yes.
Most of the time, they're staying on a diet plan. They're going to the gym, lifting weights every morning, doing some form of cardio, getting ready for that night. So don't think that they're just always living a life of luxury, because they're not. Most of those superstars are living from paycheck to paycheck themselves. They're not all super wealthy. Not all of them are multi-millionaires. There's a lot of them that live in middle-class homes. Some of them don't even live in middle-class homes. They're living right out of their car.
Yeah. So.
Like John Cena, he's a good example. He was living out of his car for the longest before he even started making those big paychecks with WWE. He was struggling. He was living a hard life. Same with The Rock. The Rock was living a hard life himself. Like, these guys went through a lot of hard times just to get where they're at in their career. And it was not handed to them. Nothing that they've done was ever handed to them. They had to work their ass off to get to where they're at. And that's anybody in real world. And this is the problem with this newer generation. A lot of you are acting like entitled little brats. I'm sorry, but a lot of you are. And you expect things to be handed to you. Sorry, that's not how the real world works. If you want to get things, you have to earn it, just like anybody else in the real world. That means you're going to work your ass off hard to get it. You're going to do anything by any means necessary to get it. And remember, there are no friends when you're trying to make it big in anything that you're doing. Doesn't matter if it's a corporate job or it's a acting or whatever. It is a cutthroat world. It is survival of the fittest. It is a cutthroat world out there. It is a dog-eat-dog world. There is no friends in those industries. No such thing. If people are saying, oh, I have friends, no. Those are acquaintances. Don't get it twisted. Those are acquaintances that would not hesitate to stab you in the back to take that promotion from you. Believe that. Believe that. Trust me. There is no friends in the corporate world. None. It's survival of the fittest. It is a very cutthroat world. And some of you that are saying I have a lot of friends, enjoy that, but I promise you when it comes time, once high school is over, you're going to find out how many of those people remain staying your actual real friend.
This is when the truth comes out.
If you can count how many times you've talked to them after high school, you're lucky. Because once I got out of high school, I didn't hear anything from anybody. So that's how you know who your real friends are. There's a difference. If you can count on your hand one finger that someone that you know is really your friend, you're lucky. Because most people can't even count 5.
Oh yeah, it's not even 2 or 3.
Yep.
You're gonna be even lucky if you have 1.
And I'm not talking about online friends. I'm not talking about people you meet through social media. I'm talking about real legitimate friends.
that you know from this
that you've known, yep, since childhood. And I can honestly say I can count zero people on my hand that I can say is my real, true, actual friend. To me, they're an acquaintance. They're a foe. They're not a friend. Because if they're really a friend, they would call me either on my birthday or call me just in general to shoot the shit with and just chit chat. And obviously, they're not doing it, so I do the same thing in return. Friendships are overrated, people. Just remember that. As you get older, there's no really such thing as friendships anymore. That stuff is all public, all in the school BS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, you can make friends, but believe me, in reality, nobody always has your best interest at heart. Even if you go to church, even if you talk to people at your church, just still be careful. Yeah, they may pray for you. That's a good thing, prayer and having a relationship with God, but still be careful of who you let in your inner circle. Even the people that you meet at church, be very, very careful of who you let in your circle. Like, even the church I go to, I love it, but at the same time, I'm still cautious and just make sure I'm careful of who I let in my little inner circle. I'll be nice and polite, but at the same time, I'm not going to let someone in my inner circle that easy. You're going to have to earn my trust. My trust isn't given easily. You have to earn it. Because I've been lied to, stabbed in the back so many times that anyone that tells me anything, I don't take their word for it. I don't trust it, because actions speak louder than words with me. And if you don't show me actions, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yep. It's very hard to trust people these days.
It is, because we live in the world of social media, and social media has destroyed whatever trust people have in humanity. Like, I have no high trust or hopes in humanity. I really don't.
Same here.
I'll believe it the day that Christ comes back. That's when I'll believe it. But until then, nah. I don't believe it, because there's so many people that aren't willing to give the shirt off their back for someone that's less fortunate. And I see a lot of that. And then you got a lot of people who are claiming to be Christian, but they're doing adult content. I'm sorry, if you are a Christian, you wouldn't be doing an adult content, because it clearly says in the Bible, any form of lust is a sin. So you're promoting lust, so therefore you're committing the sin of adultery. You may think that you're not, but you are. And when it comes to God's final judgment, where He talks to you, He's going to bring that up. Believe me, He's going to bring that up to you. And I'm pointing this at you young women who are in your early teens, just turning 18, 19, doing OF, thinking, oh, I want to make fast money, this and that, and you claim to be a Christian and you're going to church. Believe me, that's going to come to light, and I promise you, your pastor is going to tell you to repent that. And if your pastor does not convict you of that, then you're not the right church, because a real pastor, priest, or minister will confront you on it and tell you to repent. Because doing adult content, trying to be provocative. It's a form of lust, which lusting is a form of adultery. It's a sin. It says it in the Old and New Testament. You can find it in both testaments in the Bible.
Yeah, I know there's a new version of it you told me about.
There's an Old Testament and a New Testament, and all that's spoken in both testaments, the Old and the New. You gotta really read the Bible from the beginning to the end. It's stated numerous of times throughout the Bible of how it's a sin. And I just hope some of you young women can do better than just do OF. Because there's better sources of avenue out there that you can do instead of showing off your body, being provocative, doing all this inappropriate stuff that you shouldn't even be doing at 18 years old. Like, it really disgusts me. It actually really bothers me that some of you young women think it's okay to show off your body when in reality you have no idea how much shame you're going to put your family through, especially your parents. If they're really involved in your life, you have no idea how bad you're going to hurt them when they find out. They're going to be embarrassed. They're going to be ashamed of you. And if you don't think it's the truth, talk to some former OF models. I promise you, they're going to tell you they regretted doing it every day because some of them lost their relationships with their parents. Their parents literally disowned them because of it. And don't put your parents through that. Don't, please. Your parents did not bring you into this world to do those things.
They didn't raise you to do that.
That's not what they want for you. They want you to be better than that. Like, every time you do that, you're going to lose a piece of yourself. And every time you lose a piece of yourself, you lose a piece of your soul. Because now you're giving your soul the energy to give into the work of Satan. Just be smart about it. Like, just because you see other women doing it or you see your own friends doing it, you don't need to do what they're doing. Just because they're living a life of glamoury and this and that, guess what? Over time, as they get older, the shit does not smell good anymore. You are no longer happy because you have all that money, don't know what to do with it. That's when depression starts kicking in. And then you start thinking about, what can I do to get my next excitement, my next fix? There isn't going to be none because you've already done everything to the point where you're going to have all this money and not know what to do with it. And then come tax time, you're going to pay a lot of money on taxes if you're one of the top models or whatever it is that you want to do on OF or any of these adult websites. Like, don't. Stay away from it. Because money isn't everything.
Yep.
It really isn't. Is it important to be financially stable? Yes, it is important. Finances are very important. But don't make it the number one thing to think you're going to be happy with that. Because money does not buy you happiness. It buys you temporariness. You're only temporarily happy. You're not really truly happy. You may think you are at the time because it's a form of intoxication. It's a form of excitement that's getting you intoxicated to the point where now you're forgetting the teachings of Christ. If you really are a Christian, now you're forgetting the teachings. You're doing the complete opposite. God did not put us here on this earth to do things like that. Yes, He gave us free will to be free thinkers, but if you really, really, truly love God, you truly love Christ, you truly accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you would not be going on OF. You would not be selling your body. You would not be doing any of that things. That's going to destroy a piece of your soul every time you do it. It's going to take a piece of you every time you do it. Don't. Trust me. I promise you, if you spend an hour a day trying to find a communication with God and Jesus is going to lead you to the way and show you what you're doing is wrong. And I promise you, you're going to start breaking down and crying. And you're going to realize that what you're doing is wrong. And the damage has already been done, because all your pictures are always going to be leaked out there. It doesn't matter if you do a takedown. People probably have already copies of it, and they're already sending it on Reddit, like posting it on Reddit. They're posting it on any other type of website.
What's the difference?
And for some of those who are like talking bad about some of the OF models that have actually become born again Christian, and you think that they're still doing it because they have a Telegram, you gotta remember, a lot of them were ran by a management. They had their stuff ran by a managing agency. They had no control over that. And some of those agencies are still using their old stuff and making money off of it. But they're not getting a cut of it anymore because they broke that contract with them. And in that contract, it clearly stated that they can still make money off of their old images. And there's nothing they can do about it because they signed a legal document. So, some of those old OF models that no longer do it, who actually turned to Christ and became a born-again Christian, they'll even tell you they have no control over that. They've tried to do takedowns. They've tried doing that, and they can't because they signed a legal document saying that even once the contract's broken, that management team can still sell it, can still run things under that alias and make money off of it. That's how the adult industry works. You do not belong to you anymore when you're in that industry. You belong to them. So please, young ladies, you young women who are just turning 18, who are turning 19, stay away from it, please. Like, I'm begging you from a Christian standpoint, don't lower yourselves like that. Be better. You can do so much better than that. I know some of you young women can. And same with some of you men. Like some of you young men who do similar things like that, don't. Stay away from that. You can do better than that. Like, that's not what God put us here for. God put us here to preach His word. God put us here to try to love each other and be there for one another, not to do these inappropriate things like adult things. And like having intercourse, that's something you should be doing with someone you love, not to do it with random people just to make money. Like, it's sickening. It is. And then it makes you look like trash. It does. And then at the end, when you're ready to think about you're done with it and you want to settle down and get married, you're going to have a hard time finding a partner. And this especially, this is directed toward the younger women. Because if you have a very, very high body count, no man in the right mind, especially if you did adult content or you're on OF doing adult content, they will not waste their time or give you a chance, because they're going to think you're still going to be stuck in that way and you're still going to go off and maybe cheat on them. They're not going to settle for that.
Exactly.
Believe me, they're not. So please stay away from OF, stay away from doing adult things, stay away from these. Like, try to truly live a godly life if you claim to be a Christian. Try to live a godly life. Try to live by his rules, his laws. Because believe me, you do not want to lose your family's trust and their shield. Because once your parents find out that you're doing a lot of that, it's going to destroy them. It's going to break their heart. You have no idea how much it's going to break the heart of your parents. Especially if they're good parents and that's not how they brought you up to be. They're going to be so devastated and hurt that they're going to have no choice but to disown you. Don't do that. Trust me. Your parents' relationship should be more important than you selling yourself to make money. Because doing OF is a form of selling yourself. You may not think it is, but it is. Like, every time you're doing it, you're selling a part of your soul. You're selling a part of your self-esteem. And over a period of time, the more you keep doing it, you may think you're feeling good because you're getting all this money, but eventually later on, your self-esteem is going to deteriorate. You're going to have no self-worth anymore. You're going to feel disgusted and ashamed of yourself later on down the road. It may not be right away, but it will happen, ladies. So do better. Be smarter. God didn't give you a brain for no reason. God gave you a brain for a reason. To do smarter things. To do better things than OF. If you want to make decent money and you don't want to have to work for yourself, find a niche and do YouTube. Or do something like even on Twitch or Kick or whatever. Like, do some more positive. Like, there's so much avenues out there to make revenue without having to go to college and without having to sell your bodies either. There's so much more to do in life. Like, educate yourself. Learn if you want to do cryptocurrencies, study it. Educate yourself in it. Talk to people who do it for a living. Learn from them. Ask them if you can shadow them and try to learn something. Do things like that. Don't be narrow-minded by going, oh, I'm just going to sell my body. Don't. There's better things to do with your life than sell your body. Like, seriously, you young ladies are the future. And you may not think like OF is going to hurt you or your family, your intermediate family circle, the loved ones of your family that love you the most, but it is. Eventually, it's going to humiliate them, because now, like, especially if you're the oldest and you got a younger sibling, whether it's a brother or another sister, and they find out from their classmates that you have an OF and they go up to them and ask you a random question, guess what? You're setting your sibling up to get bullied, to get made fun of, to deal with your collateral damage, and it's not fair to them. Don't do that to your sibling, and don't do that to your parents. Like, for crying out loud, like, why would you want to do that? If you truly love your family, like your siblings, like your younger siblings, and you're the oldest and you're doing that, if you truly love them, why would you even think about trying to get them set up to get bullied and humiliated like that? Like,
And also,
don't.
if you have a little sister, what kind of example are you putting?
Exactly. Like, if
What
you
kind
got
of
a kid's
example
sister,
or-
she's going to think, because she's going to look up to you because you're the older sister, and she's thinking, oh, my older sister's doing this, so I can do that. Don't do that. Please. Like, be a better role model for your younger siblings, because younger siblings always look up to their older siblings. And I can honestly say that. Like, because there's times I would annoy my older sister when I was younger. It's because I looked up to my older sister. And I'm so happy she never went down that road of doing adult content. And that made me much more proud to say I had an older sister when I was growing up. But now, with some of you younger women that have younger siblings and you're doing that, you're eventually going to set themselves up for getting a lot of bullying. And this is why self-deletion is at an all-time high, because of embarrassment stuff like this and being bullied. And I'm sorry, schools, you need to do better with putting a Nik in the ending of bullying. You need to start being more strict about it, because it's unacceptable. And I'm saying this as a person that used to be bullied. You schools out there, the public school system especially, and some of the private school systems too, you guys need to do better on trying to prevent bullying. And start doing better, because anytime these kids are doing self-deletion because of it, I'm holding you responsible for it, because it is going in your hallways. It's not going it's not just at their house. It's beginning in your guys' hallways. You need to stop it, schools. Literally. Because I hold the school districts responsible for it. Anytime a young child does self-deletion, I hold you schools responsible for it, because if it's due to them being bullied, I hold you responsible for it. Because these are supposed to be the kids of the future, and you're allowing this crap to keep continuing and going on. That is not okay. That is not cool. That is somebody's child, and you're responsible for watching their child. And you're allowing that to happen to their child, where they trust you with their child. Shame on you school systems. Shame on you. Literally. Shame on the principals. Shame on the assistant principals. I hold you responsible, because you are the importance of the school to try to stop that. You're a person in charge of power, and you're allowing it to happen. That is your fault. And as a principal, if you're allowing that to happen, you need to resign from your post, because that is ridiculous that these parents are entrusting you with their children to educate them, but also they want them to be safe and not being picked on. And you're allowing it to happen and not doing anything, not setting any repercussions about it. That needs to stop, literally, because that pisses me off royally, because I used to be a victim of bullying in school. And seeing that really devastates me. Every time I see on Instagram, Facebook, some young kid, not even 18 years old, did self-deletion, it breaks my heart seeing that. I can only imagine how the parents are feeling, how devastated they're feeling. Like, I know my mother and my father would be heartbroken and devastated if I did that to myself at that age. They would blame themselves. They would wonder what they did wrong. And that's how some of these grieving parents are feeling when their child does self-deletion. Like, schools do a better job, like literally. And also find ways to pay your teachers more so that way they will actually start caring again, start caring about their jobs. Because y'all are making them work hard for nothing. And it's making them not even want to educate your kids. And also parents, some of you younger generation parents need to do better parenting, because you're allowing your kids to act like they're still little kids when they're in high school, or when they go at college, they're talking soft like this. No. You need to teach your kids how to sound like a real adult, like they have a pair. Especially you young men, sound off like you got a pair of balls. Like, literally. No one's going to understand your mumbling. No. Sound off like you got a pair of balls, like someone who's in the military. Sound off like you got a pair. Because if you talk like that and you go into the military, your DI is going to really be in your face. Trust me, they're going to be in your face. And they're going to say, "What was that? I didn't hear you." And they're going to yell. And if you can't handle that, and I've heard a lot of stories how much the military has changed, where DIs can't even do what a DI is supposed to do. They can't even be that intense anymore. Like, it's ridiculous the world we're living in now, how everyone's becoming so soft. Like, it really irks me how soft everybody's becoming, this generation. And it's not just the left hand, the right hand too. A lot of both sides are becoming so soft, it's ridiculous. Like, both you sides need to stop being soft and do a better job of parenting your kids. You need to resort back to the old school way of parenting kids. Teaching them yes means yes, no means no. Disciplining them. Punishing them. Like, if they do something wrong in school, discipline them. Ground them. Like, make them earn their privacy again. Make it where you take the door off their hinges of their bedroom. Make them earn it. Make them earn that door back in their privacy. Because they're living under your roof. You're not living under their roof. You set the rules, parents. Like, you need to do better, parents. Seriously. This is why these children are acting so freaking rotten. Because you are not disciplining them properly, and you're not punishing them for their mistakes. Like, do better. Like, part of the parenting is on you, new generation parents. Like, it's ridiculous. And this is why, like, all these new generation staff members who are principals at schools are allowing all this bullying to keep going on, because they're soft. They don't even want to do nothing about anything. They don't want to stand up for what's right. And you're responsible for these people's children, and you're allowing this to happen. Like, what the heck is going on with all of you? Like, literally. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I had to really bring this up because I've seen so many articles about this, and it aggravates me because most of all my friends that I used to go to school with that are more like acquaintances now that I talk to, they all have kids of their own. And I'd be devastated if that happened to them, one of their kids did self-deletion. I'd be devastated for them because of being bullied, getting picked on every day. Like, what is with this cyber bullying crap? Like, seriously. At least when I was getting bullied, at least my bullies had the balls to do it to my face. Now everyone's doing internet bullying. Like, what are you, some type of coward? Hiding behind a screen and bullying someone? Oh yeah, that's right, because you're scared to you're scared to take an ass whooping. That's probably what it is. That's why you're doing internet banging. Internet picking on people. Like, grow up, people. Like, literally. Like, and this is the reason why I hate social media. Like, social media has destroyed civilization. It has destroyed how people get into relationships. It has destroyed everything that was built on for foundation of actually having a real connection with somebody. And it's embarrassing. It's ridiculous that it's come to that. Like, I'm sorry, but I really felt Trump should have just let TikTok get banned. I really do. I think social media should just get banned in general. It should just go bye-bye. And force people to actually go out and actually talk to people instead of hiding behind screens. Because back when I was growing up, when I was a kid, I used to love going outside, building snow forts in the wintertime when I lived in Minnesota. Go hiking in the woods with friends playing paintball randomly, or just even like having a squirt gun fight out in the woods. Like, now kids don't even know how to have fun. Like, even me and some of my childhood friends, we'd go play baseball on the damn tennis court. Like, we'd have a pickup game of baseball, or we'd have a pickup game of basketball. We did things as kids. We had fun. Now, like, this day and age, kids don't even do that. They're glued to their damn screens. It's ridiculous.
You can blame parents for this. Parenting for that.
No, it's not just parenting. I also blame the government for it, too. The government allowed it to happen as well.
Yeah. So I think this is probably the main thing to blame for. Honestly.
Yeah, it is. But other than that, I'm done talking. Like, I'm gonna call it. If you have anything else to say, Flame, go ahead. But I want to call it because I'm getting just aggravated just thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it's better. I think it's better to end it here.
Alright, y'all take it easy, be safe, and just do better. Like, have a better life, you guys. Like, do things better.